Hi Year 5, Miss Towson here again, and I'm here today with your first of your 5 maths lessons for this week. So, before we get started with any maths, I'd like you to grab yourself a pencil and a piece of paper. And what I'm going to do now is shout out to TT Rockstars and the shout-outs for Maths Shed. Let's see who's made the leaderboard today. So for the TT Rockstars leaderboard this week, I've looked at each class's average speed. And this is something you all work together as a family, thinking about our French value of family, to generate. So all the children in 5P, you've worked together to generate an average speed of 3.83 seconds. Well done, that's a fantastic speed. In second place, we have 5E with 4.03 seconds. In third place, we have 5T with an average speed of 4.46 seconds. And very close between third and fourth place, we have 5W with an average speed of 4.65 seconds. I wonder if this week you can all log on and see if you can work together as that family and improve your average speed as a class. It will be interesting to find out if we can do that and perhaps change the places on the leaderboard. And here are the Maths Shed top scorers. Congratulations to these children in 5P, 5W, 5T and 5E for being the first 3 in each of their classes to be the top scorers on Maths Shed. Well done guys, keep up the hard work. I'm awarding a Dojo point to each of you for aspiration. Additionally, there is a studio session set up from today at 9 AM until tomorrow the 12th of January at 3 PM. I'll be looking at the leaderboard to see who's been logging on and giving this a really good go, and I'll reveal the statistics later in the week for this session. Good luck everyone. So then Year 5, getting on with today's learning, we're going to be multiplying 2 digits by a 1-digit number. But before we get started, I want to shout out to some children who have sent in their work to the Year 5 email address this week. It's been brilliant to see all of your hard work and your effort going into the maths video that you watched last Friday. So just a shout out to Ollie G in 5W for his fantastic work on all 3 chilies, and the same to Joshua C in 5T, and then well done to Finley C in 5E for also figuring out those tricky challenges in Chili 3. Well done guys, I'm going to award you each a Dojo point. So Joshua, there's one for aspiration. Then in 5W, we've got Ollie for aspiration. And finally, in 5E, we've got Finley C for aspiration too. So now it's time for our starter activity. There are 4 questions on the board that I would like to have a go at. Think about your place value knowledge to help you with these. Pause the video now and join back here in a moment to go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how we got on. So the answer to question 1, 3 times 20, is 60. Now to find this out, you could do 3 times 2, which makes 6, but 20 is 10 times bigger, so I have to do 6 times 10 to get 60. Question 2, we're partitioning 94, and so far we've got 4, and the other part of it is 90. Well done. Okay, question 3, 20 tens can be exchanged for 200s, that's right, because 20 times 10 equals 200. And then question 4, 27 tens can be exchanged for 200s and 7 tens. Great work, you've got the same answers at home. Okay, so today, as I've already mentioned, we're going to be multiplying 2 digits by a 1-digit number. So the key vocabulary of this lesson is to multiply and use our multiplication knowledge of our times tables facts. They're going to help us a lot. To make sure we use our place value knowledge for our digits to set out our multiplications in the ladder method in columns, which I'm going to show in just a moment. But first of all, I've got this question, 3 times 27. Now this is a little bit tricky to work out in my 3 times table. So I could just do 3 lots of 27 added together, or I could do 3 27 times. Now, I'd find that a little bit tricky. So I'm going to go with 3 lots of 27. In this place value grid, you will see that I've got 20 and 7 laid out 3 times. Now, what I'm going to do is a little bit of what we call exchanging. So that means I'm going to look at my ones, because I know I've got more than 10 here, and move them across, exchange them into 10s instead. So I'm going to start by grouping 10 ones and exchanging it for a 10. Let's do that again, because I know I've got more than 10 left. So there's a group of 10. And I'm exchanging it for another 10. That leaves me now with 1, 1. I've then got 8 tens in my tens column. So I know that when I put that back together, I've got 81 as my answer. So 3 times 27 equals 81. Here's another question, 3 times 42. I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go at this one. Can you work out what the answer will be from the place value grid that's on the board? Join back here in a moment for the answer. Okay, how'd you get on? Let's go through it. So I can see that I've got 3 lots of 42, 40 and 2, and I've got them 3 times. Now I'm going to start by looking at my ones column. I can see that I've got 6, and that can't be exchanged for a 10, so I know that I'm going to put 6 up here as part of my answer. Now I'm looking in the tens column. Oh, straight away I know that I've got 4, 8, 12, and that's bigger than 10 lots of 10, which can be exchanged for 100. So I'm going to group 10 of them and exchange it for 100. So that means I've only got 2 tens left, and that's going to go up there for my answer. Now looking at the hundreds column, I've only got the 100, so I'm going to put that in there, and I know the answer is going to be 126. Well done if you've got the same at home. Okay, now going back to the question we had a moment ago, I mentioned that today we're going to be looking at doing our multiplication in a ladder method, and that's what we're going to go through now. So here's the place value grid that I had earlier, and here is how we set out a multiplication in a written method called the ladder method. As you will see, I have replaced it into tens and ones, and I've laid out my digits in each of the columns, being really careful with my place value. I've put 27 here and 3 underneath with the multiplication sign just here. I've then drawn a line underneath, left 2 spaces, 2 lines, and then drawn 2 more lines for my equals. Now, I'm thinking back to my partitioning in my starter activity. If I've got the number 27, I can break that down into 20 and 7. So I'm going to do 3 times 7, or 7 times 3, because that's the same, for the first part of this question. I wonder if I could use this to help me work it out. 7, 14, 21. I think the answer is 21. There we go. So I'm going to do 3 times 20. And I've got 60. 1 add 0, starting my ones column, so I've got to add these together to find my answer. 1 add 0 equals 1. And then in my tens column, 2 add 6, which equals 8. So the answer I get is 81. Here's another question. This time round, I'd like you to pause the video and give this a go yourself at home. Join me back here in a moment to go through the answer. Remember what we've spoke about with your place value and setting it out correctly, leaving those 2 spaces to do the questions of 4 times 5 or 5 times 4 and 4 times 30. See you in a moment. Okay, welcome back. How'd you get on? So, remembering before we did our partitioning of 35 into 30 and 5. So I'm going to do the first part of 4 times 5 or 5 times 4. And I know that makes 20. Again, I've laid it out really carefully in my place value columns of my tens and my ones. Next part of my question is 4 times 30. Remember on the screen here, that looks like 4 times 3, but really it's 30 because the 3 is in the tens column. It's really important to remember that. And I get the answer 120. Now, if you wanted to work that out, you could do 4 times 3, which 4, 8, 12, we know is 12. And then we can times that answer by 10 because 30 is 10 times bigger than 3. So then I've got the 12 and I would times it by 10 to give me 120. Now the final step of this is that I've got to add these 2 numbers here together to find the product, which is the total answer for this multiplication. So starting my ones, 0 add 0 makes 0. Next to my tens, 2 add 2, which is really 20 add 20, which makes 40. And then into my hundreds column, I've got the 1 of the hundreds. So I'm going to put it there, which gives me the answer of 140. Did you get the same at home? Fantastic effort, guys. Well done. Okay, one more question we should have a go at home. So thinking about all the things we've spoken about so far, I'd like to pause the video now and have a go at this question. 3 times 68. Okay, let's quickly go through the answer then. So we're going to start off again by doing our 3 times 8 or 8 times 3. which is giving me 24. Next, I'm going to go across to 3 times 6, but really it's 3 times 60, or 60 times 3, which is just written there in the brackets. And it gives me 180. And the last step I need to do now is add these two numbers together to get my product. So 4 add 0 is 4, 20 add 80, oh, that makes 100. So I'm going to pop the 0 here and carry the 1 underneath. Now I've got no 100 in this column, 1 here and 1 underneath. So 1 add 1 makes 2. So 100 add another 100 makes 200, giving me the answer 204. Okay, now it's your turn. Here are your chili challenges. Sorry they're a little bit blurry on the screen. I've put on here a picture of how we've set out a question using the ladder method. I would like you to pause the video on this screen and have a go at solving 5 times 42, 23 times 6 and 48 times 3. Remember, at any point you can go back in the video and look back at what we've gone through if you need any help with the method. Chili 2 then. So for Chili 2, Rosie has worked out 4 times 37 using a written method, the ladder method that we've just gone through. I would like you to use Rosie's method to work out question 1, 2 and 3 that are on the screen now. Then, can you have a go at working out the answer to question 4? It's a true or false question. You need to prove your answer. You could do that by using a written ladder method to show me the answer. And finally, Chili 3. Here are 3 incorrect multiplications. I would like you to correct the multiplications using the ladder method that we've gone through today. So have another go at working 61 times 5, 74 times 7 and 26 times 4 out and see if you get the same answers. Can you suggest where the person who did these calculations went wrong in the first place and what they might have done incorrectly? Then your next question is always, sometimes, never. Read really carefully through the things here and say whether it is always right, sometimes or never. You need to prove your answer. And that concludes our maths lesson for today. I'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more of the same with our multiplication and our ladder method, but looking at larger numbers when they're multiplied by each other this time round. As always, please remember to send your work into the Year 5 email address, which is displayed on the screen now, as we love to see what you've been getting up to. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.